the phenomenally popular character Mario, who helped them achieve it.
This is where it all began.
Oh, look at that, Nintendo 8-bit. So this was the first one, was it?
The first one, collector's item.
So why this? Why did this work?
Yamauchi understood that it was all about what was inside the box. And inside this box at the time was incredibly sophisticated graphics, incredibly sophisticated control.
What was also inside the box was a coded microchip, allowing only Nintendo games to be played. It was the perfect money generator for Yamauchi.
Will your family be the first to witness the birth of the incredible Nintendo Entertainment System?
The system came with a gimmick robot, and as kids clamoured for Mario's games at $50 a go, they had to buy the system that played them at $99.
To open columns so you get to the dynamite before it explodes.
Other companies' games and computer systems were simply locked out. The strategy won Nintendo 95% of the market, but it also brought accusations of unfair competition.
The Nintendo Entertainment System, the first to move video action off the TV screen.
I wanted to question the men who led Nintendo America through the boom time and fought the legal battles.
So on the way to Nintendo America HQ, good English weather they've laid on for us, as you can see. Howard Lincoln is the former vice president, and he's the guy that I'm going to be talking to. Hi, Libby from the BBC. Here to see Howard Lincoln. Thank you.
Howard.
Hi, Howard.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Libby. How are you doing?
Nice to meet you, Libby.
And these are games testers. That must be a lot of people's dream job. Get paid to just sit and play games.
Yeah.
Howard was a hardened Seattle lawyer when he was recruited. He would need all his legal skills over the next 20 years as Nintendo fought numerous lawsuits from rivals, licensees, and even the Federal Trade Commission. Yamauchi had persuaded his son-in-law Arakawa to head Nintendo America, and he needed a tough partner. Howard and Arakawa soon earned a reputation in business circles for their combative style.
Nintendo became the success it was because of Arakawa and Lincoln joining forces and coming through, and it was like a take no prisoners, annihilate the enemy, do whatever it takes to succeed. They were kind of the bad boy renegades, and they enjoyed the attention that they got.
When I met him, I was 40, he was 32. We were pretty young then.
How did Mr. Yamauchi persuade his son-in-law to get involved? Because I've heard that he took him out and got him drunk.
Well, you know, the amazing thing is that when Mr. Arakawa first came to this country, he had no idea of video games, the U.S. market, any of that. He had to learn all of it from scratch. He was the kind of guy that when he got into something, he just continued to work and to work and to work until he had mastered it. So in this company, he knew every single thing that every employee did.
Howard and Arakawa's tactics came under scrutiny in 1989 when Nintendo of America was accused of monopolizing the market and forcing up its prices by up to 30%.
We haven't done anything wrong here. What we've done in the last 3.5 years is to single-handedly recreate a dead industry. We have resurrected the home video game business.
The Federal Trade Commission launched an inquiry. It was alleged that Nintendo was using its lockout chip strategy to stop competitors making rival games. And the company was also accused of pressuring retailers to stock only Nintendo.
Nintendo implicitly or explicitly says, you sell someone else's product, and we are going to cut back your allocations. We had too many examples of that provided to us.
Under such pressure, Nintendo America agreed to change its practices.
The Federal Trade Commission, they felt that we had overstepped the line. we reached an accommodation and a settlement with them, and we were embarrassed by that, and we made certain that we didn't do the same thing again.
Nobody's going to seriously believe that a company that's run by a lawyer like yourself, and that you wouldn't know exactly what was being said by your sales force. Wasn't that a policy to threaten people to a certain degree?
No, I like to compete, and I like to compete aggressively. And I think that spirit, if it's at the top, permeates down to all of the employees. And sometimes salespeople can say some strange things. And they
threatening
get pretty
things,
aggressive.
or how?
Or, you know, gee, if they don't carry this product, or don't do this, or don't do that, I told them that they'd have a bad time, or something like that.
Are you distancing yourself from those comments?
My point is, here was a business that was making a lot of money, that had a large market share, and that tends to bring out lawsuits, competitors who go after you, claiming that you violated the antitrust laws. We won all of those lawsuits.
What will the future bring from Nintendo?
In America, the knives were out, and Nintendo did make some concessions in its business practice.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!
But in 2002, they didn't get off so lightly. Nintendo received a whopping £92 million fine from the European Commission for price fixing.
Now you're playing with power!
Nintendo hit controversy again when they bought Seattle's baseball team, the Mariners. Anti-Japanese feeling was then running high in America, and it was a PR disaster.
Buying the baseball team was a complete fantasy fulfillment for Arakawa and Howard Lincoln. Here they were at the top of their game. Their company was making $1 billion profit a year. They could do no wrong. They had 90% of the market. And, you know, somebody else might go out and buy themselves a new car. Those guys bought themselves a baseball team.
Howard Lincoln now spends most of his time as proud chief executive of the Mariners.
I get called all sorts of names. For example,
We went to survey his empire.
I keep a list of these names, and they're great names. I've been called money-grubbing, soulless leech. I've been called a member of baseball's axis of evil.
Wow, look at that. That's amazing.
Well, there's something, isn't there?
Here's the man.
So, we put this picture up of Mr. Yamauchi, and these were his comments when we opened Safeco Field.
I acquired the Seattle Mariners as a gesture of goodwill to the citizens of the Pacific Northwest. My hope is that Safeco Field will be the home of the Mariners for generations to come. Hiroshi Yamauchi, Kyoto, Japan, July 15th, 1909.
You could also sit outside.
The Mariners are now worth $385 million, but Yamauchi has never been to see the team he owns.
That's a great view.
One of you jokers goes by the name Mario.
It's a me! 15 years ago, Nintendo dominated the video game market with a 90% share. Nowadays, it's closer to 30%. Why? Some industry insiders have told me the company has failed to anticipate the success of Sony's PlayStation 2, which currently outsells Nintendo's GameCube by 6-1. Others believe that Nintendo's current decline parallels the breakup in Mr. Yamauchi and Mr. Arakawa's relationship.
Super Mario Sunshine! When you come out feeling better, sky is blue, you said forever.
Arakawa left Nintendo 2 years ago amid rumours of a split with Yamauchi. We asked Nintendo if we could interview him, but they asked us respectfully not to make contact. Undeterred, I went to Hawaii, where he now lives, to persuade him to talk to me.